عصف الأنين بداخلي كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أساه محن تمر وكم كرهت مصابها لكن رأيت الخير يسكب في أنا كم مرة قد ضقت من عظم الباب.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. ما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Subhanallah, we are in preparation for the upcoming festive holiday of Eid al-Adha. And Gaza and the genocide has been ongoing for nearly 2 years. Subhanallah. And before I start this video, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve them of their suffering and to give them patience during this testing time. And we have failed them as an ummah. We have failed them. And ultimately, I keep emphasizing that those who are responsible and who have the capability from amongst the Muslim rulers have let them down and have allowed this genocide to continue for nearly 2 years. Now, whilst we're on the topic, over the last 2 years, I have been vocal against these mercenaries from the charity sector. And I've been following the developments religiously, even went out to Egypt myself with Irish IMI and spoke to many NGOs, spoke to many Palestinians on the ground, spoke to many people with high positions, and I don't want to mention their names. And ultimately, the common theme is that the charity sector, especially from the West, obviously it's been from the UK, lack of integrity, big promises, under-delivering, conduct issues, and the list goes on. And as I've just come back from Syria as well about 2-3 months ago, and they said the same thing. So there's a common pattern and a common theme. It's not me being an armchair critic, but ultimately I've been to those places, and it's just a shame, and it's an embarrassment as such. Now, over the last 2 months, or just over 2 months, subhanallah al-azim, during Ramadan, many charities, and I can say, wallah al-azim, I've seen many sponsored ads come on my Facebook and Instagram that charities were showing packs and promoting that they will be delivering these aid packs to Rafah or going through the Rafah border, and Palestinians, bi'idhnillah al-kareem, will be relieved during this Ramadan. And disgracefully, the charities have capitalized in the month of Ramadan, because that's their best month, because people distribute their zakat during that month and they're more hospitable, as per obviously the traditions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he was the most generous during the month of Ramadan. Knowing during that period, right, Ramadan and thereafter, that the border was shut, the Rafah border was closed. Netanyahu made a public announcement that no aid is getting in. The UN, from the UNWRA, have said that they've shut the border and we are unable to get aid in. Disgracefully, charities during Ramadan, knowing that the border was closed, and I saw it through my sponsored ads on Facebook and on X and on Instagram. I said, wallah al-azim, that they were promoting food packs, and they were saying, okay, this food pack, you know, I am in Egypt, and I don't want to mention charities' name because it's a sector that's the issue. I'm not singling out any charity. I can, and I can mention names, but there's no need, because the sector is capitalistic, it's a business, and they are profiting from this genocide. They are profiting from this genocide, which is sickening, right? So, aid isn't able to get in. So that means that there's a famine. Yes, there is ability to buy food from Gaza by inflation prices, right? And there's a Palestinian content creator by the name of Abu Rajila. Okay, Abu Rajila, as you can see on screen. Abu Rajila is a Palestinian content creator. Shabab Gaza initiative to support displaced Gaza people. Now, this individual has a campaign, right? And every time, if you watch his videos, always says that we are jahizin, we are ready, and we will never stop. If you go through his Instagram, you would see that. The Shabab Gaza is the charity that they get they get support from, like Kuwaiti charities and whatnot. So they do cook meals. So no one say that you can't get food inside Gaza, but it's at inflation prices, right? And with aid being blocked, how much food are you able to cook? Naturally, food would run out. That's why I will show you videos that women are gathering rice. There's also videos that they've gone to southern Gaza because there's a aid distribution, because there's lack of food, right? So what the charities, especially from the West, they're cooking these cooking these food, and they're saying, look, we are able to cook daily meals, not mentioning that there's aid being blocked, and just so transparency. Abu Rajila released a video. Now remember, throughout his campaigns, he is saying that we are jahizeen, we are ready, we will never stop. But subhanAllah, look at the honesty here. And this is where it begs the question, right? They're sitting on all of these tens of millions of pounds. I'm going to get to that later, but I'm just saying, they're sitting on tens of millions of pounds, nearly 2 years in. Gift aid is very healthy, right? They've capitalized on Gaza like they capitalized on Syria, like they capitalized on Yemen. So, Abu Rajila releases a video. And look what he says. It's translated. Look what he says.
دائما كنا بنقول كنا احنا مش هنوقف ابدا، بس اليوم وقفنا بعد 90 يوم من الحصار. وقفنا عشان في احتلال اسرائيلي بيستخدم التجويع كسلاح لقتل المدنيين في غزة. وقفنا وفي اكثر من 10,000 شخص مش حياكلوا منا. وقفنا ويا رب ما نطول واحنا موقفين. Abu
Rajila is coming out openly and saying, I'm unable, or we are unable to provide food. So why is it that UK charities have created this charade or illusion that everything's under control? Everything's under control. Lebas, cooking hot meals, look, every day, hot meals. No, it's never going to run out, right? Never going to run out. But there's a blockade. There's a famine. So you're gathering all of this money. You're showing us, okay, no one's saying that you're unable to buy food from Gaza, flour or whatever it may be. But at least be honest. At least be transparent. And this is the nature of these charity workers. And also, the UN, so just to sort of present transparency, the UN, after 2.5 months at Karem Abu Salim, or Karem Abu Salim, or Karem Abu Shalom crossing, because there's 6 crossings, as you know, he says after 2.5 months, we're getting stuff in. We're getting stuff in. I'm not even talking about the criminal gangs that are operating in Gaza who are stealing stuff. That's a different story. The warehouse, again, everyone who knows there's an issue. And there's different parts of Gaza. I appreciate that. So let's...
We are here at Karem Abu Salam. After 2.5 months of borders closed, finally we are loading, the first shipment of humanitarian aid that arrived in Gaza. These are all the trucks with wheat flour and some nutritious products for UNICEF, and we are loading also medicine for ICRC.
8 trucks are on the move again in Gaza. Overnight, food reached bakeries and WFP warehouses. Some bakeries are already making bread again. This is an important first step. But it's not enough. We need more food and more access to push back on the risk of famine.
UN has the United Nations Relief Work Agency, and they have the United Nations World Food Programme. Now, they have admitted for 2.5 months the border crossings were closed. Go back 2.5 months, the month of Ramadan, it was closed. So how is it that the charities were able to get aid in when the UN are saying they weren't able to get aid in? I'm not denying that you could buy stuff from Gaza. 2.5 million people are in Gaza. So certain parts you probably get items, flour, bread, or whatever at inflation prices. Meat, again, that will be crazy. But yeah, it's possible, right? People are distributing food with meat, with chicken, but it's very scarce. Now, Abu Rajila has confirmed that we're unable to 10,000 people. So I'd like to ask you, UK charities, you've got endless supplies, right? You've got endless supplies. Now, there's another video I'm going to show you where they went to the aid distribution just recently, this is about a week ago, and a drone is saying, go back, there's no food. Have a listen. You heard the drone say, go back, there is no food today. Go back, there's no distribution today. So, I like to ask now, this is my question from the start. How much money have you raised from the start of the campaign? I appreciate you can't distribute tens of millions of pounds which you've raised in one lump, right? The banking infrastructure is non-existent due to utter demolition in Gaza. So, how much money have you raised, right? Don't refer me to the Charity Commission. We're talking from an angle of Sharia, right? The Charity Commission don't tell us how much you raised during Gaza, how much money you spend, what the projects are, inshallah, once being the Kareem, everything goes back to normal, but how much normality is there in Gaza? Everything is destroyed, right? The infrastructure has been destroyed. So, you've got endless amount of money. Endless amount of money. You're sitting on that money, naturally, that's fine. You're sitting on that money. So you got gift aid. Anyone that profits is an absolute scumbag. Knowing that 55,000 people have died, many of them women and children. For you to profit from this, anyone that, during this campaign, obviously, you got to pay your staff, you know, you've got obviously overheads. I understand that. But Gaza's particular issue, the genocide, and you've made a profit out of it, because ultimately it is a business, isn't it? It is a business for you. That's how you survive. And I stress again, charity, it is what it is on the tin. Charity. No one should be using charity or opening up charities as a means to amass wealth and to live luxurious lives. If you want to work and earn, go work and earn. Charity shouldn't be your starting point to say, you know what, this is my career. The same thing with various other mosque committees, and we're going to get to that they're registered as charities as well. But guess what? Recently, and Five Pillars released this, recently, as you can see on screen, that East London Mosque hit with damning charity watchdog warning after losing £1 million. The charity was found to have failed to have conducted all the appropriate due diligence checks on the investor, personal guarantors, and connected parties leading to the loss. Along with the official warning, the regulator has given the trust 6 months to take action or it may face further scrutiny. Founded in 1910, the East London Charity, which manages the famous East London Mosque, has invested £1 million in an NHS-approved supplier, expecting a 20% return in 6 months. So this is a business for them, isn't it? You see what I mean? We are only scratching the surface. Wallah, I think we're only scratching the surface. These charities, these mosque committees, it's diabolical. However, according to the commission, this supplier was forced into administration, resulting in the loss for the charity. The charity trustees did report the matter to the commission in February 2023, which the regulator reviewed as part of wider engagement with the charity. And it carries on. I don't want to read it all, but this is an issue. How dare you? You guys are wukala. You are wukala. You are representatives of that money. What right have you got to take money that's given for the masajid, as you're a registered charity, and start making investments like it's your dad's money? Right? Like it's you've got inheritance. Like this is a mirath for you. What is this? This is just one example. I say, Uqsuma billahi al-ali al-azim. This is just a needle in the haystack. This is a needle in the haystack.
حسبنا الله هذا تعبنا أولادي هذا عندنا الشباب عندنا جلدونا كلاب جلدونا خشرية أنا كيف عمل أيوة كيف أيوة أنا يا مش حرام عليكم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل فيكم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل في الدولة العربية.
You see the elderly grandmother grab the flour, what's on the floor because of the lack of food, and saying, you know, where's the Dawla Arabiya, where are the Arabic states? And the reality is, this is the harsh truth, that the Gaza blockade has caused starvation, famine. You just need to see the photos. And the question needs to be asked, all the tens of millions of pounds that you have, maybe reaching the hundreds of millions, what's the plan going forward? Don't be just sending us videos and say, yeah, you know, this is what we're doing. What's the plan? Honestly, what's the plan? Because I am sick to death seeing children's bodies on my For You page, on X and Instagram, and you're breaking the bank. You're breaking the bank. Your bank accounts must be very healthy. And I just find it amazing and extremely disturbing that you could have this much money and not even flinch. Fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is non-existent. And they'll mask it with religious slogans, they'll mask it with Islamic reminders, and all of these fundraisers. Ultimately, look, taking an amana it's not a light matter. It's not a light matter at all. And tens of millions and millions of pounds have been raised, as I said before, hundreds of millions of pounds. And you're sitting on that money, knowing that children are being killed on a daily. Like I said before, no one's saying don't collect. That's not part of the message. But at least let us know and inform us what your plans are. And at least be transparent. Say, look, this is the reality on the ground. But no, you don't want to affect the cash flow coming in, right? Subhanallah al-Azim. And I'm not accusing anyone of stealing money, by the way, just to add that. But it makes us very, very uncomfortable that a blockade is happening and you're collecting money, not giving us any plans or what the intended plans are, what the next steps are, but yeah, just collect the money, just don't ask. We know what we're doing, we know what we're doing. When you're not ummal, you're wukala, and as wakils, you have to be open. You're representatives, you need to be open. But no, it's not your money. You're representing us. But yeah, make a career path out of charity, right? It's great, good money, comfortable living, right? So take care of yourselves. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني تمر ساعة